The Party Poker Mosconi Cup is edging closer, and I've been joined by Carl Boys to ask, can Team Europe get their revenge on today's edition of Off the Rail? Welcome to the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino Convention Centre, our home now for the next week. And I've been joined by the former Team CSI captain, Carl Boys, who's back to his day job, we're glad to say. We've also got interviews with Chamat and Joshua Filler coming up. But first of all, Carl, how was that gig as captaincy for you?
I enjoyed it, to be fair. I thought we did well with 2 players and 3 retired players. You know, we lost 5-3, but, you know, it was a good experience. First time I've ever done that type of gig, and you never know. If Europe lose, maybe I get the Europe gig.
I'm glad you've remembered the score now, but to the serious stuff. Team Europe, for the first time in a long time, coming into the Mosconi Cup, actually not as most people's favourites.
No, I mean, to be honest, every day I wake up, I just have a different view. At first I was thinking USA, then I'm thinking Europe, USA. And I think after the match, I am favouring Europe now. I mean, worry was Kazakis and Kachi because they've only played in 1 and they've lost 1. But I do think they've felt the arena, they've got the experience now. So I think they're going to come here with fresh minds, and I think they will play well this year. So I'm going to stick my neck out and say Europe now.
What was it then that you took from that match against CSI that didn't convince you about the American team?
Well, I do believe they are the 5 best players in America, but I worry about Tyler and I worry about Billy. I think the other 3 looked, you know, very sharp. At the end of the day, of course, they could go on. First day is crucial, get off to a good start and do well. But obviously, when you want a prediction, I'm just really going nitty gritty, and I just think Europe, all the players have had good seasons individually. You know, they've placed high, they've won big events, and I just think collectively, confidence-wise, you know, on paper, they've done the business.
We went and watched them training down at Mickey's in Vegas last night. What did you make of the brief time we were with them there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they'd sort of just come in town, haven't they? They'd been in LA, so they were kind of just messing around, having a laugh and a giggle. And I think today's the day where, you know, they really knuckle down, and I'm sure Marcus is trying to get the pairings correct and that type of stuff, really. And just the players will know. You don't sort of need somebody to sort of go on at you. You know it's business time, you know. We're a couple of days away, and you've got to do what you do as a player. You know, we play singles all year round, and then you come to the team event. So you've got to do what is best for you, and I think that's what everyone will be doing now.
Well, you're talking about players who've been champions at events throughout the year, the World Champion, the US Open Champion, and the MVP here 2 years ago. Missed out last year, but Joshua Filler is back, and he's been talking to Jake Asby.
Joshua, you're back in the blue and yellow of Team Europe. How does that feel?
Feels great. I mean, last year I wasn't in because I didn't play my best in the whole year. But then I found more motivation. And then I just kept winning everything. I won the World Championship, I won the US Open, so I think I deserve to be back in the team. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it.
You were the first name on the team sheet this year, got there nice and early. Do you feel like that's redemption after missing out last year?
Well, I don't know really, because Europe wasn't playing that bad. So, I mean, I got Albin's spot actually, and he was playing tremendous. So I don't think it would be a big change.
Let's rewind back to 2017, your debut in the Mosconi Cup. It was one of the most memorable debuts we've ever seen. How was that experience for you?
Well, I just played, you know, when I was in the team, we were here in Las Vegas, and Marcus just said, just be yourself. I was like, okay, I will do it. I was just myself, and I had fun. Went with the crowd. You know, it was just the time of my life, I guess.
Enjoying yourself was obviously the key to success. You were 5-0 in that year. Do you feel maintaining that perfect record is still important to you heading into next week?
Of course, I will go into the matches with a lot of confidence. I was looking at the Mosconi Cup when I was young. You know, it was my dream to be on the team, playing against USA on the big stage, and now I'm here. I'm ready.
And you're coming into this cup as the man of the moment. You've won pretty much everything this year, one of the most successful years a player's ever had. Do you feel that there's an added pressure for you to perform next week because you have been so successful on the table this year?
Well, I always have pressure. You know, I make my living from pool, so I always have the pressure. So I don't think there's going to be a big difference. I know how to handle the pressure. Yeah, to be honest, I really like it. I love it. Otherwise, I wouldn't play that good, I guess.
And how's your preparation been ahead of next week? Have you done anything differently?
No, I just did what I always do. I just practiced, and then we were in LA. Had a good time there. We practiced together, and we spent a lot of time there. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that you guys were in LA. How was that experience? Did you get up to much?
Well, it was good to hanging out with all the guys. We know each other not that well because we're all opponents. We're all enemies actually. But now we're a team. Yeah, it was good. I guess this team spirit is, I think, on the highest level. We had a lot of fun. So yeah, we're looking forward to it, I guess.
Team USA, they pulled off a big upset in London last year. Do you feel that you've got an advantage because you weren't part of that team that lost, so you haven't got any bad memories?
Well, I watched it at home, of course. I knew what they did wrong, actually. I mean, Team Europe. So we had a little talk when we were in LA. I told them what I found, what they did wrong, maybe. I tried to help them. Well, if it's better that I wasn't in the team last year, I don't know. I mean, I felt like I were on the team because I'm European, so well, it feels like I lost too, but I think we found the motivation to gonna win this year.
It's interesting you say that. What's the vibe been like in the camp? Has the team chemistry, is it at a point where you want it to be right now, or is there still a little bit of work that needs to be done?
No, I think the chemistry is first. It's the most important thing in the team, and I think our chemistry is perfect right now.
When you played in 2017, you played alongside Jason. It seemed that you guys really clicked on the table and off the table. You're quite close. How does he affect your game and your mindset?
Well, if you're just watching videos of us, you see it's quite the same game, and when we play together, we don't need to worry about the other one because we're quite the same guy. We play the same game, so I think it helped me to play with him in the doubles, for example, because I knew I didn't need to worry about, because I knew he's a shooter, he's fast, we don't need to think about each other. So I think it helped me a lot.
The last time you played in the Mosconi Cup, you got the trophy and that MVP title. Is that something that you've set your eyes on as well, or is it the priority just get the cup back?
The priority was to win the cup, of course. Yeah, when I won all the matches, I was like, of course I'm gonna get the MVP, but I wasn't think much about it. So I just kept focused on our game, helped the team, and of course in the end it's just like a nice little present.
Even though you're one of the youngest players on the team, because you've been so successful on the table this year, do you give the guys any advice? Because there's a lot of experienced players in the team.
I'm almost the youngest guy, and giving advices to this experienced people, But I think in my age I got so much experience actually. So of course I try to give them advices, but they're already world champions, so I don't need to give them so many advices. They're already like a perfect player.
Carl, hearing from Joshua there, he's clearly a very important player for Europe, and he is somebody they missed last year, isn't he?
Yeah, I think obviously the season he's had probably the best season ever in pool history with what he's won, and even the other big majors, what he didn't win, he finished second, he finished third in the International Open. It's just literally whatever he's entered, he's been on the podium, if you like, and he's such a confident player, the way he walks around the table. He's got such a good eye for the ball. It's almost like one stroke, a bit like Jason. Certain players just pop the ball better than other players. Do you know what I mean? And he's just a fearless competitor, and I don't think there's anybody in Team America he's going to have any sort of like little worry about it. He'll probably want to play Shane, to be fair. He'll just want to play the main man in America, and he will not be scared or anything like that. He is a big asset, but to be fair, he's replaced Albin, and Albin was awesome last year. So in some ways, what's he really replacing?
There is the argument there, isn't there? Because Albin won so many points for Europe last year that actually if Filler comes in and wins the same number of points, they're not actually benefiting.
Not really, and I just think the only thing is would sort of, I know we're going about Kachi and Kazakis, but they've only played in one, they lost one. They both got off to a slow start last year, and then they kind of come good near the end. So they know they've got to get off to a good start and get used to the table, the balls and all this slide. So there's no excuses now. But I just think maybe one of them two, did he play all right with Filler as doubles? You know, maybe they gel a bit better, I don't know. But I just think if you look at Team Europe, it's not really about Jason, Filler and Niels, it's about the other two.
And then the pressure's on the captain, therefore, to get the best out of Clenty and Kazakis, because they both qualified on the rankings because they've had very good seasons individually.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, they do well on the individual events. They've qualified off their own back. But, you know, when you play Euro Tour or even the World Nine Ball Championships, no disrespect, but this is worlds apart. You know, there's big packed out arena and it's live on TV and everyone's watching. That's the problem. You could get to the semi-finals in a big major and no one's really watched. All eyes are on you, and if you've had a bit of a mare in the event before, you feel like no one's forgot about that, and so they've got their own little battles, but I do think they'll play better this year, or certainly get off to a better start.
Well, that's certainly what the captain, Marcus Chamat, will be hoping for, and I caught up with him last night. Marcus, great to see you here in Vegas. Earlier this week, you've been in LA with the team. Tell us what Team Europe were doing there.
Well, actually, we just did something different. I wanted to do a little different this year, you know, and I figure, you know, my first trip to the United States was in LA, so I know the place around there, and I felt like we can have a good preparation there. Just try to get the team spirit right and beat the jet lag and get some good practice on the pool table.
So the team's been together for a few days now. How's everybody gelling together?
Yeah, I mean, it feels really amazing. I mean, the team spirit already is. It's amazing. I feel, you know, I get goosebumps just thinking about it, because I think now Alex and Kachi have more experience. They played 1 year, and they really feel like, I feel like they really are more comfortable now being around the team, what it means, and the hype and all that. I think now they really improved on that side of the team spirit. So.
4 of these guys were on the team that lost last year. Do you see their hunger and motivation to win the cup back?
Yeah, I think that's a. I mean, if they need a challenge or a motivation, what is more? They're gonna play the biggest tournament of the year at the Moscone Cup, and they are. You know, we're looking to take revenge and get the cup back, and we're playing a great team. So what's more motivation for them to just have the revenge and try to win it back? So.
And you've got the world champion and the US Open champion in your ranks. It must be great to have Joshua Filler on the team.
Yeah, Joshua. I mean, 2 years ago he was the man here in Vegas. He was the, you know, he was the main man not only in Moscone Cup. He surprised the whole pool world. Not surprised, but I mean he proved the whole pool world and showed his talent here for 4 days 2 years ago. And you know, he's yet to lose a match. And with that, going into that with that confidence is huge, and he's an asset to the team. You know, not only playing wise, his personality sticks out there. He's you know, he's happy-go-lucky guy, and you know, but once he gets to the table, he's all business. So.
And this week in the build to the Moscone Cup, what have you been doing with the team? What are you trying to work on with them?
Well, you know, we have a few days before. I went to California, to LA. I think just to get away from all the hype in Las Vegas, what Las Vegas is all about, and the event itself, just to get in that bubble together with the team. And I think that's important. You know, on the pool table, we've been doing some exercise on the pool table, trying to play some Scotch doubles, just putting the time there, try to beat jet lag is important, and then just get comfortable with each other. I think is important. You know. And I guess, you know, get to know each other more outside just being in Las Vegas, all the hype here. It's important to really feel like we are ready as a team, we are ready as an individual player, you know, knowing what we're trying to do. And that's try to get revenge and bring the cup back. So.
Do you see a difference in the team this week compared to the build-up last year? Is there more focus this time because they know how good America can be?
Well, we knew last year that they have, you know, the young players from America has improved. We knew we were facing a tough team. I felt like we were never underestimated. It's just that, you know, the way the match went last year, they got ahead of us in the beginning and they never let go really. And, you know, we tried to improve. I mean, I'm a player myself, and I know that every time you always have to try to improve. And that's what I brought to the table. Said, every year we're gonna come, we always try to improve as a captain, and I think they always try to improve as a team. And it's important that you aim for the same goal. That's to always improve. And I think, you know, it's different approach. It's like I say, let's say for example, like I cannot force them to practice 12 hours a day. A different approach. I think they were tired, and I felt like the most important is they are well rested. They have a great team spirit, which we already have, and they're well rested. We are well rested. We beat the jet lag. We already beat that. Now we're getting ready on the pool table. You know, we're doing some media stuff, meeting some fans here in Vegas. All the good stuff. By Monday, we're going to be ready, and we're going to go straight for the throat. So.
You mentioned the word revenge. We've been using it a lot in the build-up, repeat or revenge. Why do you think Europe are going to get the revenge this week?
Well, the more and more I look at the team, I mean the team spirit and the mix of the team, it's like I get goosebumps because I think it's such a good, great mix of players. I mean, we got Nils Feyen, which have about 14 cups and 4 MVPs, and then you look at Kachi, he's only 20 years old and only played one, and both of them have won so many titles just the last few years. I mean, the amount of titles the players have, and if you look at Joshua Fiedler, for example. He's won the World Championships, the US Open Championships in the same year. I mean, he's had 10,000 ranking points on the world as a world number one, and that's amazing. And obviously, just Jason Shaw just took down the International Open just 2 weeks after I just picked him as a wild card, you know. And he hasn't played many tournaments this year, but he proved that, you know, he's ready, and you know, I had faith in him. And then, of course, we have Kazakis, you know. He probably couldn't believe that he had a chance to qualify when he saw you know, when we were in Austria, and he finally grabbed that last spot, you know. So it's just like writing a book, you know, how the team was made, and it's really good. I mean, I can't be more happy the build up and the way they're supporting my approach and, you know, what we're aiming for. So.
Marcus Chamat there in confident mood, and Carl, he'll know he needs to get those, especially the guys who were the rookies last year you were talking about, he needs to get them going early in this Mosconi Cup.
Yeah, everyone does. You know, it's such a high pressure event, and going off last year, Europe did get off to a bit of a ropey start. Everybody really, do you know what I mean? No one seemed to gel. Everyone kind of looked a little bit lost out there, and you know, Jason said it. Everyone seems to be on that same vibe. Clenty and Kazakis, they need to just go out there. They've experienced it one before. They know what to expect now. There's no excuses. Can you handle the pressure in the Mosconi Cup, or can you not?
So the question we're asking, Carl, can Europe get their revenge? Can they?
Yeah, certainly. You know, like I said, I've swapped and changed day after day, but really thinking about it now, I think Europe are favourites on the paper. I mean, that's not to say they're going to win, of course, but I do think they'll get revenge this year. I really do.
Well, Carl, we will find out. The Party Poker Mosconi Cup begins on Monday. We've still got plenty of build-up content for you as well on our social medias, so don't miss any of that. We'll be back for more Off the Rails soon.